been on a team for a while. He's been playing the pubs, but can he back it up in professional play? That still is yet to be determined. Liquid may have gotten their 2-0 over Talon, but this opponent is a very different beast.
At least he doesn't have big shoes to fill. I think that's one of the things. You know, shouldn't be a lot of pressure on him in terms of replacing Nisha. Like, Nisha's completely washed. Hasn't really won anything big recently.
Yeah.
He's only won TI once. Whatever, man. It's not even that good these days, so...
And of course, really, Nisha only contributed inside of the game. He didn't really help outside of the game, like in a recent tournament that they won where, like, drafting was very important.
Exactly. The shoes are just not that big. There should be some decent pressure.
At the same time, though, Avery, I was thinking about this, and I know you've got a bone to pick with Team Liquid. I know you hate their love, friendship, and magic, and
no,
all
I don't hate it, Austin. I just don't believe it.
Okay,
there's a difference. I just don't believe
well,
it's real.
You believe it's all a facade.
Yes.
But if there was any team you could stand in for, I feel like Liquid has to be one of the teams that would be better to stand in for.
Oh, yeah, you're probably getting paid the most for sure. I'm going there #1. That org is doing well. The results stand for themselves. You know, your average placement at a LAN, as long as it's not Dream League, it's going up. The stocks are going up. So, yeah, it's probably a good team to stand in. You are right, though. This
I
is
was
a very
talking about, you know, inside of the... I feel like they're a rather nice team.
Yeah, they're nice.
You're not going to feel
lads.
as much pressure.
Of course. They're going to make you feel comfortable. They're going to let you play their game. You do have Mickey as your carry, which I think also helps because this guy is arguably the best carry in the world right now. He's playing on a completely different level.
Yep.
Some people will argue that, but what you cannot argue against is he's a very flexible carry player.
Yes.
Which helps when you're slotting in a mid because now you can just bounce him out, right? It's the same as if you have a flexible offlaner, and I think Saberlight is flexible, but I think he suffers playing the really greedy offlaner. Yeah. You want to push him in that direction. So yeah, I think Liquid is a very easy team to just kind of slot into, and I mean, yeah, they're the TI champions, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be missing perhaps the GOAT, perhaps the player who is the best player on Team Liquid, at least you've got Mickey, who has been the best performing player of Liquid this season.
For sure. He's been cooking some lads out here.
And he's going to have to put up even more effort because I actually wasn't paying attention draft-wise, but I assume he was back to drafting.
So, no, Blitz is back to draft.
Okay, but player-wise, yes, Blitz is back to drafting.
Actually, they got Bryle to draft. They say, you're Nisha now, you do it. Stand in draft, first time in Dota history.
Something.
I will say, though, the drafting, they banned Huskar with AA.
Yeah,
for this puck.
You did have a problem with that.
That is embarrassing. Shame on you, Blitz. Shame on you, Team Liquid. That is a cowardly ban.
Okay, but aren't they just banning what their mid laner says?
I don't care.
We're going to make you pluck.
Cowardly.
What do you want to ban?
That's just cowardly, though. Come on, man.
Okay, well, you should be shaming Bryle, then.
If I'm Insania in that position, I'm playing the AA, you don't ban Husker. I'm gonna make this guy wish this hero had never been added to Dota 2. Like, you don't have to worry about it. I don't care if you go 0-40 in mid lane CS-wise. I'm gonna ruin his day. That was a cowardly ban. That's just for the record. Anyway, we'll go back into this game. I do like the Shaker pick for Spirit. I think the combination of the Shaker plus the Mort in this game is one of the deadliest combinations for a puck to play into, so I by no means think this is a free or good puck game even.
Yes.
Despite the fact they got it really late. If this were a Nisha puck, I don't know. That guy's a little different on the hero, but not the Flame Bryle. His puck is also one of his best heroes going back a lot of years. I used to play against this all the time, and it is incredibly toxic to play against. So this is completely in his wheelhouse. He's very competent on the pick. I expect great things from him. It's just tough playing into Mort the Shaker because you have the combination of the instant stun plus the best follow-up silence in the game that you just can't really itemize outside of BKB. And we've seen that a couple times. In fact, we saw Nisha do it when Liquid played against us last time. He went for the early BKB on the puck. It's just not an item you want to have to go. So this puck does have some limited damage ramp capability. You're not going to see, I think, super fast Blink, Witchblade, Parasma. You're going to have to stop for something in your first 3 defensively. Could be Yule. Sometimes you can get away with it, but it can't be the Lincolns. And so you're pretty much choosing between Yules and BKB.
First blood still on the table here. Mickey's trying to pick it up, but will be denied that opportunity as Collapse managed to hit the sun, separating the two of them. Team Spirit is winning on the lanes right now.
Oh, yeah.
Top 3 CS across all of their cores.
Their lanes are strong. No doubt about it. You look at this lineup. I mean, they just have so many early spells to throw out in these early trades. You have a bunch of really tanky cores between the tri-core. Also something Liquid's going to have to address. You have damage from the support duo and the AA Ringmaster. A lot of extra scaling damage between these two, going into the high HP pools across the triple core, but it's still a lot of HP to chunk through it. Sometimes, these are the kind of lineups I worry about Sand King in, man. Like, I don't know if I want to go late game here with Sand King with some sort of utility build, which we've seen Saberlight lean towards, I want to say. He tends to lean towards like a Yule's Pipe Sand King rather than a Bloodstone Ag Sand King.
Sure, yeah. We've talked about he is way more of a glue man, kind of the opposite playstyle of 33, who is much more of a carry-ish offlaner.
Which is totally fine, but in these types of games, you might just run out of damage if you're Liquid. Sure, you can burst that one core with the stun coil AAL combo, but then do the other two just carry the fight and win the game anyway?
Sure.
That's something to consider. I do like seeing some more Ringmaster gameplay, though. This is a fun hero. This is a fun hero.
Okay, a fun hero, but is it a good hero, Avery? Because you have made your complaints about the hero.
I have revised my opinion slightly. I think the early game, S tier.
Yes, very strong.
S tier early. The ultra late, S tier.
Okay.
With the Ags double cage, double box, whatever you want to call it.
Yep,
I call it a cage because, you know, I think Dota is a metaphorical cage. I think more people can relate to that.
Of course.
And I think, you know, sometimes you put your teammate in the box. It turns out to be a cage. Depends who what Ringmaster you're playing with here.
Let me out.
But I think the mid game, this hero can really suffer in the mid game, man. Like, there's just some fights, especially if you play into some early BKB timing lineups, he just does nothing. And there's some fights where it can be difficult to land a good wheel.
Yes.
It's not that straightforward.
It is a very technical hero.
Yes. The box save also suffers versus Dispel, which I think teams are going to start to prioritize more and more.
Sure.
And as we fight for the 6-minute rune, and neither team guesses right.
Maposhka does manage to block in Boxy. I don't think this is a fight he wants to take. The dagger is pretty tough to beat in one-on-one situations. Meanwhile, Rue is there on the other side trying to secure this power rune, but at the same time, they're going to be able to pick up the kill on Rue, and Bryle is not done yet, but a final enchant totem hit will snag the kill. Trade-off of support for core, but they do manage to get the first blood. Laurel once more, and he'll have it too. He will get a second kill out of this matchup.
Base damage, just so good.
Boxy's going to be in trouble, rather. Boxy, he thought he can maybe pick up the kill on Laurel, but Maposhka sets up Laurel for a triple.
That is exactly what you want if you're Team Spirit in this game. The ideal scenario. Leave the side laners in empty lanes on the sidelines where they're not getting bullied and accelerate this Shaker. This Shaker might just take this game over. He was already dominating the lane, by the way. 46 and 17 on the board for Laurel. Now you give him basically a triple kill into the power rune, which got dissolved anyway. Yeah. Dude, he is living life. Now you're enabling your supports off that too. That was with the Echo Slam getting dodged. Still won that handedly.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very nice dodge. It's just the longer fight still does not play to Liquid's favor, and now they're down 2K against Team Spirit.
This matchup's just really bad for Puck. It's not just about the instant catch. Shaker's extremely tanky in the early game. Your spells are not strong enough to punch through this guy, and if you ever get hit by totems, you don't have the early armor to deal with it.
Yeah, literally the only thing that was missing for...
He's dead again.
Yeah, he is. The only thing that was missing in this matchup for Earthshaker was like chip damage, which he now gets off of his passive, right? We saw how many times he was getting hit. Saberlight's gonna die in the bottom lane. Gets boxed, but he does manage to get a little bit more damage out. Maybe boxed, he finished the job. Maposhka takes out from the dagger. Radon's gonna be in some trouble as the cold feet will take him out as well. So Liquid do manage to get a bit of a rebuttal there. Lost their core in mid, lost their core in the off lane, but they do manage to get 2 kills in bottom.
Not often you see an early epicenter get that much value. And that was with the Vanguard being delivered off the courier that didn't get there. We now see it completed for the stand game. If you have that on Saberlight, that's a completely different exchange as well.
For sure.
So it's pretty sad for Saberlight, but really good for the Liquid supports here. They needed some kind of boost to get these ults online. They're making the big move.
Burrow Strike, follow up. Laurel does have a shield rune. He is not an easy kill. Echo Slam goes out, but he's locked down by the cold feet. He's going to try and finish up Saberlight. Cannot deliver the final blow. Saberlight with the Vanguard. This time he'll survive.
That's a big move for Liquid to make. A very risky one going to the shield rune Shaker, but they get the payoff. That is massive. Getting Bryle back in this game, making up for what Saberlight did not get on that bottom lane. All of a sudden, this early game that was getting out of control stabilized a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they were up 2K. Now it's closer to even off of just one move.
One of the things is you're just giving an empty lane to this Monkey Centaur, which you probably don't feel great about as Liquid because you would like to play more aggressive in this lane with the Monkey, particularly early, but you can't win everything, especially when these early games are floundering. I think they pick pretty good opportunities to make up for it elsewhere. And Centaur is he's not the most threatening hero.
No, he's not.
I'm not scared of an out-of-control Centaur. You go, whoa, he's going to hook stomp me, and then he has a bunch of defensive items anyway.
He's going to activate his Blade Mail. And there he goes, activates his Blade Mail. But Mickey isn't afraid. He does have Boxy here, trying to put him into the wheel. Oh, it didn't take! He was just outside of the AoE. Does not get taunted in.
Very technical hero.
Very technical.
It takes a very strong support player to play Ringmaster. We're seeing here.
And of course, that's why you were having so much trouble playing the hero. Oh no, the Ancient stack. Saberlight making the call. Somebody help me out here. Ice Blast is coming in. They're all going to try and go for the Saberlight kill, but at the same time, they got baited into the Ice Blast. I don't think they realized A was level 6. As a result, Radon goes down. Now Coil out onto Maposhka. He'll die as well. They do manage to pick up 2 kills. They lost a majority of the Ancient stack, though.
Whoopee cushion. Aggressive whoopee cushion.
Hits him with another dagger, slows him down. Does he have more in his pocket? 3 more seconds. It's going to take too long. Rue, nice sidestep there. He's been performing very well for Team Spirit. I would say him and Laurel has been the deadly duo for Team Spirit this season, and they're going to pop out and punish Boxy for trying to get aggressive.
This combo's just so easy. You ever catch these isolated heroes, Totem, get hit by the Remnant, hit by a Deadshot, hit by another Totem, you're just never going anywhere. Pretty nice AO. Best target you can get in this early game on this gyro for sure. And it's an annoying matchup.
Echo goes out, and Bryle phase shift, but the snowball chases after him. Does manage to get to the other side of the Fissure. Oh, double skill shots running his way, but both are going to miss.
Honestly, amazing Bryle gets out of there. Spear just missing some spells at the end, though. He had nothing left.
He doesn't. He is level 6, but he didn't have the mana maybe for his ult. Does end up going down.
This feels like one of those games Spirit could be 5K ahead right now.
But
there's been a little misexecution on their side and a lot of nice recovery on Liquid's.
Yeah.
I mean, this support duo is one of the best in the world for a reason. They just made a lot happen from some pretty bad positions. Looking for the, not the 12-minute rune, but looking for the kill that would lead into it.
Waning Rift into trying to get position for the coil because they say that's all they need from the puck. As long as you hit the coil, you got the Ice Blast. You hit the Ice Blast alongside the Wukong's command. There's nothing Team Spirit can do. They have no save.
And Radon just sitting here watching the enemy carry make the move ahead of him.
And now Radon, Liquid haven't left, sir. Okay, another failed wheel there. But it does keep some of the other heroes from Spirit a little bit at bay. They still want to be able to pick up this run-on kill and do manage to get it. The silence is out onto the puck, in some trouble, re-silence up. We can see this is why the Muerta is so deadly for the puck. Silenced again and again and again. Now going after the Ancient Apparition. Turns around, tries to go after Rue, but he activates his ultimate. Mickey can't do much about that. They go for Mapochka instead, but a dead shot stops. No, actually does manage to get off the epicenter, slowing down these heroes, but Saberlight is met by Laurel, and Collapse will deliver the final blow. Chasing after Boxy next, but
send the illusion in.
Keep going. Yeah.
Super chaotic fight. And Liquid overstepping a bit as they feed some kills towards the end with the Shake coming in for a big Sand King cleanup. That's going to push the Centaur towards his blink as well. Should be done here for Collapse if he wants it. He could get a little greedy, but I think you just want the blink here. Really make the puck's life hard. And also be a first jumper, because you don't want to play these games where Shaker always has to go first. He's one of your big damage dealers.
Ice Blast coming out to the mid lane. Another coil combo. This time it's going to be Burrow Strike, and the Ice Blast picks up Maposhka.
I mean, these Liquid supports are still having pretty good games, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, Insania is the richest out of everybody, making this AA work. It's going to continue to scale up really well here. They win 1 or 2 more team fights going into this mid game. They're not in a bad position. Again, after an early game that could have gotten completely out of control. That said, Spirit's core is still pretty content. And I assume you're racing towards some early BKBs here. They're being eyed up for the Shaker and the Gyro, and then you have this pipe being eyed up from Collapse, who did get the blink. So you could potentially hit double BKB pipe around this 25-minute mark or so.
Yeah.
And that is just devastating for Liquid's lineup.
Yeah, so
I don't know what you do into that.
Even if you hit the initiation, even if you hit the Burrow Strike and land the Ice Blast, They, survive long enough to get off their BKB, get off their pipe. They stop taking damage. They don't shatter from the Ice Blast. And then what do you do as Liquid?
You're very magic damage heavy.
Yeah.
Very heavy, especially with this monkey going the Maelstrom. That's just even more magic.
Move from Spirit, coming through the gate. 3-man smoke up. They're going to be behind Liquid here. Now, Liquid have already divested a bit of this position.
They have a good ward down here in the jungle. They want the Monkey King with the Centaur Blink.
Okay, they know he's around here. They know he's in the trees somewhere. He's going to break it. Collapse! Oh, he was so close. How did Mickey get that quick of a reaction? And now Liquid almost seem to want to try and get a punish out of this situation. Setting up for the epicenter. Thinking about pumping it, but not pulling through with it. Mickey's going to try and make the initiation instead. Ice Blast going to be off the mark. No, doesn't mention hit collapses. He blinks into it.
This is so awkward
but
for
it
both.
missed Wukong's command. A Burrow Strike's going to land onto Rue. They're trying to get anything they can out of this situation. Insani on the side does end up going down. And with Laurel and Radon joining the fight, Liquid have to retreat.
I don't want to take this fight without the AA Blast. Especially if they don't have vision for a good setup.
Still thinking about turning it around despite it being a 4 versus 5.
Yeah, but you have to go on supports here or the gyro.
Hit Maposhka to try and get a quick kill out of him, but he's going to be able to snowball up. They throw out the wheel and help a little bit. No, Echo Slam goes out. They do get an immediate burst strike off that one, but the burst damage isn't going to be enough. The epicenter keeps on taking a little bit more damage. Two managed to finish off Laurel. A big core down inside of Spirit, but Liquid are on the retreat with their support, trying to back away from Radon while Bryle executes on the side, does manage to pick up the kill onto Rue. Radon and Collapse are still healthy enough that Liquid do not feel like they can keep going. A 2-for-3 exchange. Who was that benefiting, Avery? Because number-wise, it says Liquid, but they did lose two of their really important cores.
I mean, Bryle getting that kill at the end really helps him. This is, again, the supports.
Okay, now it's got to be Liquid.
Yeah, support's making plays here. Any fight that goes even for Liquid right now is technically a win since they're behind from this early game. The gyro living is big for Spirit. At the same time, Bryle living is really nice for Liquid. And you did get the Monkey King kill.
Another fast play. Liquid continuing their typical tempo. Ice Blast coming in. Maposhka can't see it coming. He snowballs for a bit of relief, but he will find none inside the Sandstorm. Instant burrow to his death.
A haste room for the puck. It's a deadly place to be right now. You're just getting run down. No time to set up the map.
Yeah, Team Spirit constantly on the back foot, stumbling it seems. But this time, burrow. Do not lose Rue. Saberlight, yeah, held off on the burrow perhaps too long. Maybe it was on cooldown still?
This is time. Like the reason you want to win these fights right now if you're Liquid is because these BKBs, this pipe, these timings are coming for Spirit. They're still hitting a very good stride here, particularly with this gyro. Just finished up the Ags. His farm rate is going to pick up even more.
Yeah, this is the timing where they need to break Team Spirit, take their towers, get a net worth lead.
Otherwise, you're just in it for the long haul, which you can't play that game. It's an uncomfortable one to play against Spirit, to say the least.
Yeah.
Not a lot of teams enjoy going super late against this lineup.
And draft-wise,
I don't think they're that unfavored, but again, I still favor these kind of drafts where it's close to 50-50. You still got to favor Spirit in the ultra late. Like their team fighting decision-making, that's just where they shine, right? That is their wheelhouse. Looking for a quick little gyro pick-off if you can snag it.
Yeah, I feel like
setting up for
an Ice Blast.
Future Wisdom Rune as well with these wards. Like you can always come back to these areas, so I don't mind these smokes. You're going to get a tier 1 off this as well. It's a nice objective smoke, even though you don't land anything here. And Glimmer Cape done on the AA. They're looking for second Glimmer on the Ringmaster. So that's going to be some long-term, fight sustainability Liquid can play around. The Glimmers are nice for Spirit as well. They are very magic damage dependent in this early mid-game, similar to Liquid. I guess you can argue flat cannons maybe a little more reliable than hitting a big Wukong, but that's about it.
Yeah, they're like
the guy you want to jump.
I mean, they're going to go for it with the Ice Blast. They feel like, oh no, the Stampede. Laurel jumps into the Ice Blast, but with the Stampede, they're all able to escape. And Radon hit one hell of an ultimate out there. Tower's going to fall. Radon chasing after heroes.
Yeah, that was not it.
He's caught Mickey. Mickey forced to use the Wukong's command defensively here to try and reset. A flat cannon shot. Tries to dodge it so he can jump away into the trees in case Spirit chase for more. But all they'll get is that Ancient Apparition in that Sand King. But still, again, this is a time that Liquid needs to be winning fights. Instead, they are losing them. Even if they're not losing them by a huge margin, they are falling behind.
That's just such a tough jump. That is the worst target to go on. That is exactly what Centaur wants in almost every situation, and Collapse knows it, and he's just sitting there tempting you. The thing is, you do have the damage to bring him down if you're Liquid, but you need the chain stun to land.
Yes, and the only other stun they have is the coil, I guess.
It's coil or it's the strike.
And are Boundless. Yeah, that's true. And are you willing to invest that much into killing the Centaur? Like, maybe you still lose the fight even if you do kill the Centaur.
Dead again here.
A lot of Atos into the calling, constantly silent. Snowball's going to hit him. Dead shot back into the Snowball. Very well executed.
He has just been cleaning Saberlight up in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's turning into Midas territory here. Like, you're just boxing on the map and feeding him a kill. That's the old sixth man right there.
Not been the most fun game for him and Team Spirit. They seem to have pretty good control of the game, up 4,000 net worth, and that'll bump up with the Tormentor take.
I would love to see the stat on Spirit's average Tormentor taking compared to all the other teams. As in which point in the game they do it. Because I think they are one of the later Tormentor takers.
Yeah.
I think they care the least about this objective, or at least prioritize it the least, and tend to take it later in games. When it's just there and they're like, okay, we'll take it.
Do you think that was the case for the old Tormentor as well?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
This'll come in handy.
Where I think like Tundra, I think, were one of the teams that would always take it.
The thing was, I think their assessment of that was incorrect, but they just preferred to play that way, so they just said, screw it.
I mean, it makes sense for a team that I think we've talked about systems, and it feels like Team Spirit is perhaps one of the more open teams, less likely to, you know, at 15 minutes we have to do the Torment.
Yeah, I mean,
guys.
You know, Liquid's a very system-defined team, and then Spirit's system is we're going to beat your ass. That's our system.
Your system is a street fight.
Our system is you suck more than we do.
We're better than you, get used to it. Rue, on the tail end of his haste rune.
Yeah, he bites the bullet there. That is a smoke that Spirit are happy to give him up for.
Sure. Because
the BKBs are closing in here. That was the Mjolnir done for Mickey. He wants a team fight out of that item. This is when your damage is peaking. Again, before the defensive magic resistance items come out, this Mjolnir has max value right now. Do have some Roshan taking potential as well if you can get a fight around that area.
Yeah,
that BKB already done for Laurel.
BKB done for Laurel. Pipe is pretty much done. We're going to see it flying out here in a second for the Centaur.
Yeah, they're going to have pretty much everything here. You could take a fight without the Gyro BKB since he doesn't have to be the front line here.
Sure.
But you also don't have to.
Just trying to go for a little pick off here. Sand King joining him on the bots with the coil. He's stuck inside the Sandstorm.
Now, I think Liquid need to approach these next fights once these items come out in terms of poking like that. Go on a target, drop a Vortex, drop a Cold Feet, throw the A Blast, throw the dagger from the Ringmaster, have the Sand King disengage while the puck orbs out. That's a lot of damage. That's enough to threaten a core without committing to the fight itself.
Which is where it's going to be hardest for Saberlight. He is the core that will have the hardest time being able to bounce in and out because he's largely, that's not how Sand King wants to play the fight. He wants to be able to get in there, stay inside his Sandstorm, and jam.
He did go bots though.
He did, yeah, why did he go bots?
That's so he can burrow strike in and then bots the fountain.
Oh.
Yeah, it's next level play.
Innovative play, innovative idea.
We've had the Nightfall, but what about the Saberlight?
Yeah, we've seen this new offlane Dusa build. Maybe everyone's going to copy this Sand King.
Can I coin the Saberlight? That's when you TP to fountain in the middle of a team fight. Just say bye team, good luck.
I don't think he does that really.
Maybe he does, I don't know.
I feel like Saberlight just goes in and says, I'm going to die, but it's fine. I hopefully started a good fight.
Screams, suck it. And he puts his hands off the keyboard. He is going early BKB. That's his disengage item, or his item to just stand there and ignore all the spell damage.
Got an opening. Collapse.
Ooh,
Hits the initiation, finds Boxy, who actually did have a kill streak going on. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Saberlight also going to get caught here by the two-man team, Maposhka and Radon. Rue going to join him. A second pickoff. Back-to-back, Team Spirit beginning to pick up some pace here.
When Spirit are ahead, they rarely group up as 5, unless you're looking at that ultra late. They're often looking for 2 plays at the same time, so they don't just put all their eggs in the same basket, and that's a really nice find from Maposhka. That just turns a simple pickoff into a complete map route.
Yeah.
And now it's just a 2-man Roshan going on.
And it's very easy to do that kind of split focus when you have this guy right here, right? Collapse, is going to be starting a fight somewhere, and he's got pipe blade mail. Like,
yeah, he's just
is Liquid going to fight back?
I mean, you get the pick off, but he's more bluffing than anything. Like, you're not going to take a full 5-on-3, even though we only have 3 here. Because I'm just way too strong for you to want to go on right now.
Yeah.
And again, the issue with this is you're getting to your BKBs if you're Liquid, but you're just behind in these BKB fights. So you're not willing to take the straight 5-on-5 right now. It's too spooky.
Well, maybe this is where the boots of travel come into play. They've got a Liquid. They're going to want to rat the game, I think, for a bit. You've got a Centaur you can't kill. You've got a Shield Rune on Laurel, and you've got an Aegis on Radon. You're not killing any of these cores. Not without paying the iron price, anyway.
You can rat this game. It's definitely viable. Don't want to give up too many pickoffs, though.
And that is the downside of these supports. They are very much glass cannon types. They're a heavy amount of damage, but one stomp is really all it takes.
Broach done for the gyro. I mean, Radon is a beast right now. So Spirit, they have a couple options, right? They can just march down a lane here, threaten high ground, pull Liquid back. Classic sort of Aegis play. They can do this with their front line showing and look for the pickoff. Honestly, they only need the Tusk to really look for it. I think that's enough to TP people in. So that's also a pretty low committal, high value play.
Yeah.
They can do the cross map smoke. Another classic Aegis play.
Yep.
I don't think they want to go high ground too early in this game, so I feel like they're going to do one of those other options.
I feel like they're
They will
strong
look for
enough
the
to
Tusk
force it.
pickoff.
Got the pickoff. Oh, no, box save.
He might be
For
silent
now, but he's still stuck inside the calling. An epicenter comes out, but there's really no damage threat behind that. Not anymore. Stampede got to be used to catch up to that Sand King. They try and save him with the wheel. He burrow strikes away, but the dead shot will still find its mark. Now Boxy, he turns around for a fear. TP out. A stun is there. 3 kills.
This is getting a little out of hand right now because Radon didn't even go to this fight.
Yeah.
He's just pushing in bottom. He pushes in mid, farms extra jungle, continuing to accelerate super far ahead of this Monkey King. If it comes down to a man fight, I don't know if that's one Mickey's winning anymore. I guess you have a blast to back you up, but then you're back in that problem where you can bring down 1 core, you bring down all 3. And then at the same time, you have this Muerta getting pretty fat, and we have seen what this Muerta Ags can do as the game goes later and later. That spell is completely busted. There's no doubt about it.
I do not understand why they gave this hero more team fight. The calling is already one of the best support abilities when it comes to a team fight already, but to add an AoE fear on top of that.
This is one of those heroes where you can look at it, yeah, maybe Muerta's good. Is it first book good? I don't know. But if you're telling me that Axe is not broken, like, you're blind or you're a League of Legends player. It's one of the two.
11,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit as they are comfortably sliding in to Liquid side of the map.
I mean, Collapse is even considering a BKB later on here after he already went the early pipe. It's just insult to injury, right? It's just like, what are you going to do to initiate on these heroes and bring them down?
Trying to go for a quick kill onto Laurel here. Laurel, he will activate his BKB. Now Liquid need to disengage, but Boxy, he's not able to hop out of this danger.
Not too bad.
Likely stuck in it. Glimmer Cape actually going in for more. Collapse hit the stomp on 2, though. And Saberlight was not able to get off a good epicenter. He's going to try and charge it up now. Hit by the Fissure and knocked down by Radon before any more ults go out. Now Mickey, he commits to the kill on Collapse. Now he's man fighting up against Radon with the rest of the BKB. He will get that Aegis. TP's away. Snowball to stop him. A punch. That'll stop the TP out. And Mickey will not have the damage, and he will not have the defensive capability to take the rest of the fight.
But Poshka's position is just so good. The fact you get that punch on the BKB Monkey is so sweet here for Team Spirit. And, I mean, Radon doesn't care about the early man fight with the Aegis. He's just wasting the BKB duration, hoping you can stun him on the TP out. Knows he's kind of locked into that fight at that point.
Yeah, he didn't have the Aegis for much longer anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're not winning that trade, but you win the overall exchange. Spirit once more coming out ahead in these team fights, and it's so tricky for Liquid. We saw they had the right idea, which is go in, poke a hero, disengage, and then take the fight after that. But it goes back to that issue. You can bring down 1 core. You cannot bring down all 3 here. Age is not doing you any favors. And that Muerta Ags is now coming out even faster.
And just another 1,500 gold. He will have it.
I mean, Bryle is also going this Octarine build. I don't know if you can play this game on Puck without BKB. I don't know if you win the game with BKB, but I don't think you can play it without it.
Yeah, we already saw how the box isn't actually guaranteeing his safety.
It does not save you. You get stunned. You cannot move. You get re-silenced. It reapplies out of it.
Yeah.
There's so much follow-up Spirit can throw in there as well.
Yatoro, I'm pretty sure, saw Mickey making his way through here. Maposhka stays up in the high ground. It's actually scouting Brile here.
Yeah, what is...
Pops out. Oh, quick punch! A box goes down, but he is almost dead. He will manage to get off the phase shift and, oh, doesn't blink away. What happened there? Instantly tagged, I suppose, by the Aghanims from Radon. He didn't do the blink to the direction he was facing, I guess.
Yeah, trying to go a different direction to maybe hope he escapes, but there is no escape from the gyrocopter.
He was probably facing the wall. He was probably facing up, right?
I think
so.
I think he felt
he's dead anyway.
Couldn't blink off the map, but
yeah.
Oh, it's got your tree cut.
Varl trying to catch him. Does manage to hit him with the enchant totem stun, but Mickey is out. That doesn't really matter too much for Team Spirit. They can either continue to control the game and wait for the next Roshan, or if they get enough pickoffs, you may see them bold enough to hit the high ground.
Top tower has fallen.
A Shadow Blade for this gyrocopter. They know they're going to be running around hunting Team Liquid heroes. They're gearing up for it.
Yeah, they're just scaling and scaling. Refresher for Shaker, Shivas for Centaur, Silver Edge for Gyro. Those big three items are going to decimate the team fight. You have no hope against that if you're Liquid unless you can find something here in the next few minutes. I think you almost have to just smoke out and hope for some big Wukong. Because I don't think you're outscaling them here. Your Sand King Puck are too far behind. The lanes are not doing any favors for you.
Mickey has done a notably good job of...
he can't afford to get caught
maybe
here.
I've just cursed him. I was going to say, he's managed to dodge a lot of these gank Shivas. Oh, he jumped away to a tree, but he's locked down by the Rod of Atos. I did curse him.
Yeah, you cursed him. Wow, that was...
I was going to say,
really
he's
bad.
done a good job of dodging all of these attempted ganks from Team Spirit.
But you cursed him so bad, you didn't even have time to curse him before the curse cursed him.
Yeah, just thinking it.
Yeah, great job, Austin. Really putting Liquid off to a great start here.
Well, to be fair, I think they were already fucked.
Okay, well. Unbiased caster here, day one, everybody.
They're down 20,000 net worth against Team Spirit. I don't know many teams who feel confident about their winning position. Down 20K against perhaps the best late game team in Dota.
Who would be confident down 20K against Prime Team
33?
What do you... I'll tell you who I know would be. There's one guy I absolutely know.
Samael?
Seb, for sure, dude.
Seb.
That guy would not care.
There you
He
go.
would genuinely not care.
Hell yeah.
He would be wrong, but he would not care. He would lose, but he would believe he would win.
Trying to get the BKB out of Radon. Got it.
I mean, that Silver Edge is already done, by the way.
Yeah, it was Shadowblade Silver Edge and like...
Yeah, sold the
space of
Falcon
2
Blade.
minutes.
That is so much burst damage. You combine that with the punch here, with a boxing glove, and you are smacking some kids out of that Silver Edge hit.
You can see Team Spirit just setting up traps. Saberlight tries
That's a bad
to punish. Instead, will find himself punished.
Oh, that's a bad miss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard go, but it's probably not aware you're sitting on that obs. Really deflates that play instantly. Gem on Collapse has controlled the map. Not a lot of vision available for Liquid. They're looking for any kind of scraps here. Begging, please, Master Spirit. We're hungry.
Spirit are ruthless, though. And they will give them nothing and take from them everything.
Yeah, this is not the team to give you scraps on the map. I guess you could hope they overextend on the high ground with the next Aegis. That is a fight that could go your way. Would require a lot, but that is the kind of fight that can play into the Wukong ring.
When Muerta can casually set up the kill on your mid laner like that.
Ag's already done.
He's got the Ags, sneaks up on you, hits with you with the Calling Silence, then your Rod of Atos, then you get hit by the Silence again. And I don't know where that Ice Blast is going. It's going off the
It's
map.
scouting Roche, I think.
Yeah.
They're looking for a beneficial timer. So they know it's not spawned. You're going to have another in 30 seconds. You can smoke out with this puck and look for that play.
And there's that two-man squad you were talking about here. Radon does the damage. They only need the Walrus
Okay, in
punch.
70 seconds, you can smoke out, look for that play. Assuming no one else dies here.
I have a sneaking suspicion that someone else might die here.
They only have 0 vision, no lanes out, and are missing 2 heroes, Austin. I don't know why you would feel that way.
Maybe if they all hold inside their base next to the tier 4s.
If they all sit in Fountain.
Can't get picked off if you're not on the map.
By the way, these are the kind of mid-games I think Ringmaster really hates. This is why I'm still very mixed on my evaluation of this hero.
Okay.
Because when enemies get early BKBs and you fall behind, like, I just view this hero as kind of a win more hero. I think he does not pull you back. His comeback spells are just not that strong. Like, when you're getting run down and you're behind and you box somebody,
You have my respect.
a lot of times you just get run down more.
Yeah, the wheel is harder to use.
The wheel's way
defensively
harder to
than it
hit.
is offensively.
I do.
Like, this hero looks great when you just win lane snowball game and run people over.
Sure.
That's not going to happen every Dota game. So you have to evaluate it evenly, right? You can't just look when things are going great and say that's how it's always going to be. Because we're a perfect team, we're never going to mess up. No, you say, you know what? We have a North American player on our roster now. Things are probably going to go really bad a lot. That's why North Americans invented the Hand of Midas, so that you can recover. Okay? So you got to play to the situation, Austin. You got to evaluate these things like a North American player would.
That's true. And there's no more true North American player than Ben Merlini Wu.
That's exactly right.
Boots of Travel, Hand
And
of
what was he
Midas.
known
There's
for?
no greater comeback than that.
What was he known for? Boots of Travel, Radiance, Juggernaut. You split push down the lane, you spin, you TP out. There's nothing more North American than that.
Mass TP's the other side of the map. Liquid are going to find themselves not in a great position. That Burrow Strike came a little bit too early. Saberlight hit the window too early on and will quickly die for it as
Stunning
Will
ghost.
his supports.
Got spooked.
I mean, I can't believe Mickey and Bryle are still going after something here. They're going after Laurel. Laurel bumps himself up to the high ground. Okay, he's going to be good for now. Saberlight bobbed back into this game, TP'd in, and died immediately. That's a die back for Saberlight. Mickey still holding on to his only life here inside the Wukong's command, and eventually Radon is strong enough. A double beyond godlike for Team Spirit. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know,
It's
Laurel
over.
and
It's
Radon.
It's over, Austin.
It's over.
You don't need to cast anymore. It's over.
Thank you.
It's been over for a little bit here as Liquid, they had one last fight in them. It went horribly wrong. They will GG out
3 games. We played multiple games.
after 3 games. You're willing to make that statement?
Yeah, I am.
I was willing to make it before the tournament started, Austin. Spirit's always been the better team.
Wow.
Always will be the better team. What do you think about that decisive?
Well, they're lacking the 3rd ring to prove it, but
Anyway, I have no bias towards either of these teams in this cast.
Of course.
I'm just excited to see good Dota played, and I think Liquid are going to put up more of a fight in this game too because Tinker does not go down easy.
I mean, they put up a good fight in the first 15, 20 minutes of game 1.
Collapse is dead.
And they're putting up a good fight right here. First blood for Mickey.
Mickey is by far the best carry Tiny right now.
Okay,
And
he's
I think
the best Furion. He's the best Tiny.
Yeah, those
Is
are
there
for
anything?
sure.
Okay.
And I think Liquid's win rate with his carry Tiny is some absurd amount, like in the last 30 years. I think it has to be over 75% for sure. It might be higher. So I have a lot of faith in the carry Tiny here for Liquid. I have a lot of faith in the Tinker to give them the team fight potential and the sustain. This is a very annoying hero to play against. You have a Shadow Demon Purge answer and you have a little Stampede action, but honestly, not a lot of burst damage out of Spirit, which is generally what screws with this hero. When you either just burst the front line down, or when you find him, you can kill him. If you don't have burst damage to kill this hero, he just takes the fight over. He will win every long fight. You're not out-sustaining Tinker. There's nothing in the game that out-sustains him. So, I don't know. I kind of like Liquid's odds here.
We know that Tinker is a nuisance. I feel like the Wraith King is a bit of an unknown here.
Yeah, it's a
You
big
like
unknown.
this pick?
Conceptually, yes. I think it does make a lot of sense. I think the lane can be good. I think you can all in the Enigma sometimes. Do get forced out eventually, but at the same time, you're really fast jungler. You can counter push towers. You can counter shove. This is a lineup for Spirit that can play really fast with the Skelly Boys, the Pugnablast, the Leshrac. There's a
I
lot of
already
pushing
just told
power.
the audience we don't quibble here, okay? We don't talk about what could happen. Is it a good pick or not?
Yeah, I said this is a good pick conceptually.
I mean, no, not conceptually. Really.
Well, a lot of things can be good, and then they don't pan out in practice.
Well, is it going to pan out?
Okay, riddle me this, Austin.
Yeah, Batman.
Is a Ferrari a good car?
Not right now. McLaren seems to be dumpstering them.
No, not in the world. Just in general. You know, if you go buy a Ferrari, is it a good car?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're driving up a mountain. Is it good now? No, because things need context, Austin. They need the context of what
Avalanche.
they're using them for.
A little bit of damage on Aru, slowed down by the blood grenade. Throw a tree at him, and he might just fall, or he will stand tall.
Now, if it's a Ferrari four-wheeler that can off-road, maybe we got some potential.
All right, so is Wraith King a Ferrari or a Ferrari four-wheeler that can
Wraith
off-road?
King is the Subaru that you pull out of your uncle's shed that's been there for 30 years because you got to get to work.
But it still runs,
But it runs.
still runs.
It runs like it
beautifully.
did day one and it gets the job done. That's
right.
Wraith King. So when you gotta
Well,
pull it out, you gotta pull it out.
Done right now, unless the job is dying, blocked in by the Eidolons a little bit. Okay, they do manage to get
That's
the return.
a Subaru right there.
That's
I really hope we don't have a car sponsor. I know some of these teams have a Mercedes sponsor. I don't think anybody has a Subaru sponsor. I think we're safe there.
no, we're definitely good on
That is old reliable, ladies and gentlemen. You might kill him, but he's taking you with him. The king does not go unpaid.
Bryle, is he dead? Chains does manage to hit the last rack, and this separates the two of them. Bryle is doing all right for himself. 18-0 compared to the 19-2 of Laurel's Leshrack.
And he should have
getting the better of
a
him.
lot more gameplay this time around. I think he's a lot less counterpicked, and he has a lot more freedom in the fights compared to that puck game where the second you got caught once, you're just completely gone. Your itemization is pretty difficult. Here, you're just playing an Ember game, you know? Yeah, you're against Demonic Purge. Yeah, you're against Pugna. Sustain is a little annoying. But it's a good of an Ember game you're going to get in an average competitive match. So,
Okay.
no excuses.
Got a successful hard camp pull off and trying to threaten Team Spirit as they go to interrupt that pull.
Summons on summons.
Do you manage to get the, that's going to be the problem. Eidolons versus Skeletons. Skeletons go over to the neutral camp. The
Okay.
Eidolons stick onto Radon here, trying to
Skellies.
farm some of these Eidolons.
Skelly's got to bring up the brain power right now. Not hitting the right targets.
Mindlessly hitting the neutrals. Maybe they're taking away all the farm. I think they got a decent amount of that.
Those were some
Laurel
NA.
into
Those were some
trouble?
NA skeletons right there. I got the neutral.
March of the Machines, a snowball. It picks up, but Disruption dodged that damage, sure, but he's still surrounded by heroes and will fall, as will Rue, as the tag team goes to work. They get the return kill on a box. He'd be well worth it for Liquid.
Liquid trying to pick up the pace here and get Bryle more activated. This is a classic. Whenever Liquid loses game one, they go back to the Gaming Gladiators playbook, which is just tri-lane mid. Always catches you off guard in that game too.
Well, that's what every NA mid truly needs, anyway.
Yeah, probably. Bryle probably cried about it in the break. Said, I need the RTZ treatment. They said, okay, we know exactly what that is.
Snowball pick up to the bottom lane, got him inside the shards, collapse in some trouble here. They pulled heroes mid and then went back to the side lanes and punished there as well. Team Spirit now losing the lanes where they won the lanes rather heavily in game one.
I like the dual roam here. It can be a little unconventional with the Tinker who likes to just play greedy and get pulls for the extra levels, but
yeah,
if you look at Spirit's supports, they are pretty much useless in the levels 1 to 3. You have no spells. You're throwing out a disruption and a blast, that's it. So your dual roam on the side of Liquid is dominating with this Tuskar. May as well use it. You have a huge advantage in this department.
Yeah.
You can really accelerate this early game. You have an Enigma you can rotate to push with the Eidolons to take the tower. I expect Liquid to go up here very soon. You have a Tiny you can gank for, and you have an Ember you can gank for. There's 3 cores on this Liquid side that can all set up the plays for this dual roam to come in. So really, really cool
Blocks him
idea.
in next to the Eidolons with the tag team slowing him down. Good use of the Decrepify by Maposhka. Radon still on the run, though, with a snowball pickup onto the Enigma. Radon turns around, throws what damage he can to Saberlight, hoping to get the return kill. Magic Wand goes out, and it keeps Saberlight alive. No rebuttal here.
Madstone.
Liquid up 2K.
Madstone on the ground.
Thank you, Avery. Very important part of that fight. Don't forget about picking up your Mad Stones, ladies and gentlemen. 6-minute power rune. Tries to get grabs. It's not bottom lane. Unfortunately for Team Spirit, it's top. And it gives Bryle an amp damage. That is a dangerous rune.
Like this Shadow Demon cosmetic.
I think it's cool looking.
Okay. Okay.
Isn't that the whole point of cosmetics?
I was going to make a glance value argument here, but we'll save it for later. DD Bryle.
Value.
This is not the fight you want to be in right now if you're Spirit.
Yeah, they saw the amp damage get picked up, but the fight still happens, and Brile takes full advantage of the situation. Yeah, okay, the poison's not going to be enough damage. Brile is going to be fine, and he will TP back to the fountain real quickly before Radon shows up to punish him. What a kill that would have been.
Oh,
if Radon could have been there in time. Instead, he is a level 4 Wraith King trying to farm up the jungle.
That would have been game salvaging right there.
It really would have, but
because this early game is not going Spirit's way. They're getting outroamed by the supports, can't fight back. Difficult time protecting the Leshrac against the Ember. The double damage just pouring fuel on that fire. This is not a fun matchup for Leshrac in general to begin with. You have a Mage Slayer coming out here eventually as well. It's just going to make the Leshrac and the Pugna and the Centaur's life even more difficult. This is a really good Mage Slayer game for this Ember mid. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Pugna, Centaur, Leshrac, there's a lot of magic damage on the side of Team Spirit.
And you didn't win a lane to help you combat this. Like, who had a good early game here on the side of Spirit? I guess Collapse? Sure. Again, are you that afraid of the Centaur?
Nice light, dodging the stomp. Had to jump away, though, just in case. It looks like the camps for Team Spirit will be protected.
You can jungle very quickly. That is one thing their lineup is pretty good at. Leshrac, Wraith King. Going to clear through some camps, clear through some waves.
Mickey and Boxy are going to sneak on by here as Collapse takes the farm out of the tower. They thought to go into the triangle. Instead, they go back to Collapse. With the third hero joining them in Saberlight, looks like he went through the gate. The Malphite is slowing him down. The Ice Shards, it does not nab him. Collapse successfully gets away with the Stampede.
No black hole and no shard connection. Could have been a kill, but they will take the tower pressure anyway.
Flight chains, Rue.
Is that a black hole? I can't tell all. My glance value.
You're obnoxious as every Redditor. Brile, he will manage to snag that kill eventually. And tower damage is being done.
Oh, yeah.
Saberlight already took that safe lane tower, came through the gate, went to that bottom. They failed on the kill on the Centaur, sure, but the pressure is ramping up. They've taken that side lane tower. Now the mid tower is almost down, and Boxy just managed to take away the Arcane Rune away from Laurel. Now he is probably going to die for it. Let's see if Insania can keep him alive. Yeah, managed to get a little bit of a barrier, and that is enough to keep him up. Disruption goes out onto Leshrac. He's going to come back into a slight. Can he survive, though? Decrepify goes off, gives him a little bit distance. Bottling up. Boxy chasing after him, trying to find the Laurel. Does manage to get him inside the snowball with the tag team. They'll put him down. Still, though, Team Spirit get the better of the engagement. A third kill for the one Leshrac.
Yeah, I feel like all the supports in this game are just way too good. It's salvaging these situations that do not look good at all. I don't really know how Spirit come out on top of it. That was a long fight. The Tinker is getting multiple rounds of spells often, usually super favorable for him early game, especially fighting around an Ember.
Yep.
But man, you're in an isolated area where that Edict goes to work. That is not a fun spell to sit around either.
So where Liquid lost the laning phase in game 1 and came back through some heavy movement, now it's Team Spirit's turn to try that out in game 2. They're still down by 2K, but we've seen what they can do. That middle fight was a great start.
Massive for the support levels. You're going to have this Shadow Demon 6. Vaposhka is ahead of Radon in terms of XP right now. So much for the safe laner.
Yeah.
Later, noob. I'm the carry now.
And Demonic Purge is going to be really helpful against the Tinker, right? Because the barriers are just instantly dispelled.
I mean, if you can ever throw this Demonic on the Ember,
sure.
Mega value in this game.
Guard, barriers, all out.
Even the power runes, because Brile's getting all the power runes here. So, like, yeah, this haste is really threatening on the map. But if you have Demonic Purge, he can't play super aggro with it. Nonetheless, that is your third tier 1 going down. Early game, very strong for Liquid here. They have a lot of lane shove, a lot of tower push.
Boxy setting up the kill onto Radon. They have to play this slow. He should have Reincarnation if he wants to level it. If he feels like it's a good place to do so. He's going to die the first time. Does he want to level it up? Let's see. He walks away and goes for him. Does he pop it towards the end? He levels it up just the last second. Now he's going to come back on the second life. But Saberlight still in position. Hit the black hole. Managed to nab him. Pulls him back in, especially with the shards right next to him. Radon is going nowhere, and he will die twice. Rue is still setting up some poisons. Perhaps they can get a return kill somewhere on this. Nope. Boxy walks it off.
Help. There's nobody you can help outside of this Stampede. Your lineup's just not that good at rotating or counter-rotating to these kind of plays. Again, the weakness of the support duo without early stuns or kind of setup capability. Where's that going to come from in this lineup? You need an early Yules on the Lesh, which isn't going to happen. You need early Blink Dagger on the Centaur, which is probably the biggest answer here. Yep. But your Wraith King is just going to be AFK farming. There's nothing you can expect from this Radiance build-up. So you're really looking towards this Centaur to bring this early game back if you're a Spirit right now.
This Wraith King was theoretically, or excuse me, conceptually a good pick, but it has been put in a darker position than I think Team Spirit had in mind. Down 4K against Team Liquid. Radon is going to have to do some heavy lifting here. Saberlight going to be found in the jungle here. Backstabbed by Laurel. And he does have the rest of his team coming in behind him. Not enough to save him, I don't think. The shards, unless it's the beauty, it does manage to separate them a little bit. Saberlight's still on the run. He's got back to his team. Now with the barrier coming out from Insane, yes, Saberlight feels like he can turn. He's got to be careful, though. Collapse is still going to sneak up on him. Hits it with a stomp. And the finishing blow, Avalanche over the top. Saberlight somehow still alive. And all these heroes from Team Spirit, they're dropping fast. Saberlight still up. And the heroes of Team Spirit, they're just fully committed to this one. They're all going to die in order to get the offlaner of Team Liquid. 5-man wipe.
Tinker doing it all here. So much heal, so much sustain in this fight. If you don't bring that hero down, he wins all of these 5-on-5s. Just so many sleight of fists going off. And if you're looking at the damage from Spirit, it's all the Pugna, man. It's just Maposhka and Rue trying to salvage this because their 3 cores can't do anything.
Yeah. Nobody else can really do a whole lot. You saw Laurel, he was out of resources towards the tail end of that one.
I mean, he got 4 drains off in this fight. It lasted so long, and you lost? That's kind of absurd to think about, but you're just matching the damage output from these marches and lasers going out.
Yep. It's the power of the Tinker right there.
And timely show from Mickey there. That could definitely go bad if that Tiny does not make an appearance. Hits a big avalanche. And by the way, he's out of control. As much as we've been talking about how much this Wraith King can farm in the jungle, you might not ever get there as you're now behind the Tinker. Whereas this Tiny is cruising in this game. Level 11, so far ahead of the pack.
I feel like this matchup, mid-Tiny, yeah, it's a burst-oriented hero that maybe Wraith King is better against because he's got 2 lives, but carry Tiny just doesn't run out of damage. He hits you with the combo and then just keeps swinging his giant stick. Doesn't matter if you're on the first life, the second life, or the third life.
Yeah, it also doesn't matter if your first and second life are both garbage because you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, kind of the problem with the hero, right? Your ult is only as good as you're good in general. As Mickey will just clean up a free Easter egg there. And he's so far behind. Who cares?
Well, he was conceptually good.
Yeah, of course. There's a reason that Subaru was in that shed for 30 years. I don't know why. I really hope there's no actual car sponsor here. That's going to be a bad conversation after this game. Production would have stopped
you by now if there was. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That Mage Slayer done for the Ember, by the way, that's just like a nail in the coffin here for this early mid-game comeback for Spirit. I don't think there's any way you fight into Tinker Ember Mage Slayer here with these heroes.
Well, no, you screwed up when someone in black pants and black shirt shows up and tackles your
ass. There's a guy in a suit motioning me right now. Oh, Bryle, he trapped himself. Unlucky. Look at snowballed out. Why is it always the North American players who get trapped on the map? You ever notice that? Like,
well, I mean, it's a analogy for how they're trapped within their region.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Trapped within the confines of their own pub experience. Think about this 15-minute Tormentor. Got some decent damage to do it here. Drum on the Enigma. Why not? Mech Locket already done for this Tinker.
And they can play the 4-man while the Tinker defends the other lanes. That's one of the... It's not just all the amazing amount of defensive capabilities the Tinker has. It's also
the efficiency.
How you can play on the map.
And he gets the shard. I mean, that's just... Now the net worth looks disgusting, right?
Yeah, it does.
That is why this feels
ahead
tough.
of the Ember now.
Very tough to play against this hero. Generally, if you play against Tinker, you want to win early. Because otherwise, you get stuck in games like this where the enemy can 4-man, and it's not inefficient for them. So then you're really out of options because you're just losing so much map.
Yeah.
The enemy can play with so much confidence.
Foxy spots Radon. Radon does manage to sidestep the shards.
But even plays like this, you're forcing them off the map. You're gaining control. You're gaining vision control, and you're not losing anything on the lanes. They're free moves.
Yeah.
Free moves equal free money, Austin.
That's
quote of the day.
It's something. Maybe we'll see the word of the day later on. Rue, he'll be run down here, but at least he got Laurel out of there. Jenkins somewhere was like, he just said word of the day. flip that. Mickey tossed back, and the rest of the team is closing in.
This is where you wish you could turn your ult off.
Yeah.
I unskilled the guys, don't worry.
Man's not going anywhere. He's warp flared.
This is such a sad life.
He'll get that range creep. No, he doesn't get the range creep.
Is he even going to get ratings in this game? I don't even know if he's going to get there.
Yeah, they made big talk about the build-up Manta Radiance, but that
he has no build-up.
Might not even get a first item.
His build-up is Phase Boots Soul Ring. GG. That's his third item.
Oh, no.
It's gone wrong here. It's gone really wrong. They just ended up getting sucked into this skirmishing between the Tinker, the Tusk, and the Ember. And their heroes are not designed to do it. They had to create some more side lane pressure. One of those side lanes had to win harder. They had to play through it. Either early Centaur Blink or the Wraith King lane just won. So this Enigma had less momentum. If all that goes out the window, then yeah, you're in a very one-sided match here, and Tinker's just going to take it over. I mean,
oh no!
Solo killing.
He locked into a sentry, and Insania has already locked him down with a warp flare. If they have more sentries, more dust, more detection, which of course Insania doesn't have because he is a core.
Yeah.
He's not a support anymore.
Honestly, this is one of those games where you don't even care you have the detection. Whatever. You want to go run off to the side of the map with Leshrac while I'm farming Ancients as a 5? Be my guest, brother.
Do a little catch and release, you know? Now Mickey is the one under a sentry. So no go here on Collapse. You can see Team Spirit doing a bit of ratting here. They'll catch Boxy.
Okay.
Getting too aggressive in the mid lane.
They got something.
They got something.
Could this be the entryway back into the game?
Yes. Start of the end for Team Liquid.
Not for Miposhka, but
Start of the end of Miposhka.
the rest of the team, could they make this an entryway back into the game?
Yeah, the question is, how do you ever catch Brile?
That's a good
This
question.
team has no way to catch him.
You have to Demonic Purge him when he has no remnants out.
Yeah.
Or it's the Centaur Blink, which they do have. You have to chain the Centaur Blink with
Yeah,
a Leshrac stun follow-up, which very difficult here.
Yeah, I mean, Brile could always just slight before the stomp hits you. And as they realize they can't kill the Ember Spirit, they back away. Brile is joined by his team. He pushes forward and finds the kill on Rue. But Team Spirit, they are getting a bit of ratting done. We do have the Relic done for Radon. Not quite the Radiance, but we're getting there.
This is the Tinker game that everybody complains about. Like, this is why this concept should be deleted. Look at this disgusting 5 here.
Yeah, I mean, it did really crush them in that
What
one
kind
fight
of
when they went after
supporting is
Stabilite.
this, Austin? He's supporting by killing every camp on the map? That's not a support hero.
You know what? In order to support others, you have to support yourself first.
That doesn't sound right, but okay.
It's right in a conceptual way.
Oh, okay, I see. You're stuck on that, huh? That's fine. Little black hole here. No, he doesn't want to throw it. Just think about it.
Lets him go.
Just the fear. Sometimes the fear of the black hole.
Of course. The fear of the black hole. Much more dangerous.
Yes.
Bottom tower has fallen. Radiant are
It's like the fear of getting hit with a fire axe.
I don't think that's what Mary Shelley was thinking in The Shining. The fear of the fire axe, of course.
That movie is about fear. If you think about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, Radon, he's very fearful right now. He's thinking, am I going to get this Radiance? Or am I going to look like a fool who picked this hero for no reason?
I think Radon feels fear. I don't think he does.
Probably not. Maybe when he reads patch notes. He scrolls to Drow Ranger and Phantom Assassin. He's like, please, no. And then he goes to Mech and Greaves. He's like, please, no aura buff.
He looks at the Agi carry list. They're all below 45% win rate. Radon feels something he's never felt before. Fear.
I genuinely believe that at some point Team Spirit just watch Ace play pubs. And they just rate how successful they're going to be in a patch based on how well Ace is doing in pubs. They're like, what's this guy's Underlord? Greaves pipe, Crimson win rate. 67%. Oh, God.
How can we
Gotta be a rough
play an aura meta, guys? It's just impossible. All right, they kill Radon, and now they're going to let loose that black hole as Collapse will hold on to his Stampede, knowing that there is no escape
terrorized him with the threat of it long enough to unleash it. Another double damage for this Ember. Give this hero every power rune in the game. It's likely not going to end well for you.
You can see the plans of Team Spirit, though. See the other heroes out on the map.
Oh, big courier kill.
Moposhka sniping couriers in mid, pushing the mid wave. You've got Rue, the Shadow Demon, out there deep on the map, trying to take the experience shrine. She does.
You think you're going to catch Moposhka? You think you're going to catch Moposhka? Really? With only one TI ring? You think you're going to catch this guy? Mickey, sit down. Sit down.
Sorry, bud. You need 2 TI rings to catch me.
Embarrassing. Just embarrassing. An embarrassing day one.
Yeah, this is a pretty embarrassing game for Liquid, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think a good team would have closed it out in like 5 minutes.
14,000 net worth in 22 minutes.
All right, Hail Mary smoke from Spirit. They have the Bloodstone on the Leshrac. This is the moment.
They are still going to be running into the Ember Spirit, so the smoke is not going to surprise Liquid.
The Radiance is done. The damage is there.
They got him on the fall. Free fire blast.
They land.
They jump out, but it looks like the Ember Spirit may still die. No, he got picked up with the snowball, managed to slide Remnant away. Maybe they can run down Boxy. Maybe they can run down the other support as well. Insania is in trouble, and he's out of mana. Laurel has found his mark. This pesky Leshrac. No, he got pushed back by the Warfare. Meanwhile, the right-hand side, they do manage to kill Saberlight. That's 2 down on the side of Liquid. A combo goes out. Moposhka does die despite only 1 ring on Mickey. I can't believe he just managed to make that happen. Still, though, Split Earth is going to be able to land on him. Laurel is running out of mana, though, and Mickey hasn't run out of damage. He is threatened by that big old stick, but Radon is coming for some revenge. He backs up Laurel and is pushed forward. Hit by the slide again from Bryle. Slowed down a bit. Team Spirit managed to win a fight, but they don't take that much for it. Can they finish up Roshan?
Eidolon scouting. There's no way you can commit here, right?
Eidolons.
Dude, what a fight from Spirit, though. Honestly, they're so close to just wiping them there. And unfortunately, they did not pick up all those extra kills.
Liquid are just going to go right back to it, and the heroes of Team Spirit are a bit low, too. They're just going to run in, full health, and all these heroes smoked up. Avalanche, too. That's Radon, already out on his first life. Laurel's going to try and hit him with a splitter. Mickey is probably going to die in return. They do manage to get him. Radon does have a buyback if he wants to use it here, but the rest of the team looks like they may be able to fight without him, as just Barrett rallied around Laurel. His AoE damage is going to work. Still, though, Bryle is healthy. Snowball on through to the back line. They already finished off Rue, and now they're going to take out Moposhka as well. Liquid certainly strong enough to win the second round of this bout, but Team Spirit do walk away with at least 2 of their core.
Those are big kills. Huge kills in terms of that gold swing. And suddenly this Leshrac is pretty massive.
Yeah,
he's doing a lot of work in this fight.
Now.
And they're just keeping him alive with the drain, the disruptions, the stampede. Got some tools to get Laurel in there. He is putting the team on his back right now. I do not know how Spirit got as much out of the sequence as they did.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He has Searing Signet on the Leshrac.
That helps a lot.
So if he's alive in that fight and doing AoE damage, everyone's burning. He did 3,800 plus damage Roche on that last team fight.
Oh, this is ballsy. They have Wraith King ult. They just don't have the DPS.
I mean, now they're dealing with Black Hole. Black Hole is back up. Where I believe the start of the first Roshan fight they had, I feel like it was on cooldown.
They're not dealing with Black Hole. Liquid is dealing with Radon's ult right now. Wraith King reincarnation.
Of course. Yeah, Roshan's going to go to the other side of the map, so Team Spirit aren't worried about it. They smoke up, move to the other side of the map, try and set up some vision, perhaps get on a high ground.
This is a really nice play. You're preemptively setting up for Liquid.
Going to run into it. Oh, blink for blink. He does manage to dodge some of that, but his snowball will be his doom as he is rolled back and the rest of the team. Shards bumps him a little bit farther forward. They couldn't finish the lock job. Not right away anyway. Radon running into some heroes. Laurel's in trouble.
He cannot die.
1-1, winning the fight. Disruption goes out. Tries to buy him a little bit of time. And Pulse Nova is going out. Now the Black Hole onto 2 with nothing to stop it at the same time.
He healed a lot.
He's still off through all of this. Moposhka has kept him alive through the drain. And now Liquid are in a mosh pit of death that the AoE damage of Laurel just will not stop. Radon in the mix. A warp flare to push him back, but the stomp on through from Collapse. Team Spirit upsetting the odds will take down Liquid in this fight. Boxy, one final blow to try and finish up Collapse, but he should have gone for the head. He misses the shot, and Laurel walks away with their ultra.
Dude, this Leshrac is a beast. 7,300 damage. Just tanks through everything. I thought he was done after the disruption overlapped that stampede. And Laurel said, no. I want to be right here in the middle of all of them. Put the drain on me. I'm going to deal the deeps. And Liquid commit and do not take down the beast.
The Bloodstone and the Drain
And the
is too
Decrepify.
much. And the Decrepify.
The Decrepify is massive here. There's no Dispel on the side of Liquid. Mika, he's just standing there with a stick and nothing to hit. Like, what's he supposed to do?
And just like that, the game slipped
I don't
through
understand.
Liquid's finger.
I do not understand how. It's one thing to turn a game around like this. It's another from that position. It's an entirely another thing to do it that quickly.
Yeah.
Into Tinker. Generally a hero that is very difficult to come back against because once you fall behind in the damage race, the hero just shuts you down. He's oppressive. Ridiculous stuff from Team Spirit here in this game too, as they are still not even ahead.
Yeah, they won that fight. They got Roshan. They're still down 4K. That goes to show you just how down bad they were.
It feels as, I mean, are they favored at this point for the next fight? Is that too bold to say? This Leshrac, do they have an answer for him? He has Ghost Scepter plus the Crep, plus the Bloodstone Heal, plus an Aegis now.
They're definitely favored for the next fight because they
That's
don't
a
have
lot.
they don't have any anti-heal sources, and I think they don't have enough burst damage to deal with this Leshrac.
I mean, their burst damage is all the Tiny.
Yeah.
You can't hit him.
Who-
You need Nullifier here if you're Liquid. You need it.
And who's gonna build it?
I mean, the Tiny, right?
It's like not really an item he wants to build. First of all, he needs BKB.
Well, maybe you don't want to build it, but you have to build it. Sometimes you don't have a choice. When life gives you Ghost Scepters, build Nullifier.
Thank you, Dave Johnson.
They should have been prepared for this meta. If you had been
It is
watching,
a lot of Ghost Scepters.
if you've been
right now.
watching Tundra play at all, they just spammed 6 Ghost Scepters every game.
Boxy, he clears out the mid wave. You can see Liquid, they're playing for a bit of time right now. They want to complete the
forgot
BKB on Tiny.
I forgot Liquid doesn't play pubs.
Of course, they don't know
They
Ghost
don't
Scepter is an
know.
item
They
in the
don't
game.
know Ghost Scepter meta. And then they came to this tournament and they're like, why is Dota2 Pro Tracker not working? What's happening? I can't steal 33's items build. What? That's why we kicked this guy. So because we can just steal his item builds. They nerfed it. Liquid out of strats. Struggling.
And meanwhile, Team Spirit, they're living their highest life, right? Dota2 Pro Tracker down. Nobody's following the same meta anymore.
Yotaro, he's like,
now the medalist guys are
Yeah.
going to be the winners.
Yotoro's just sitting here the whole time. They don't know what I'm about to build. They've never seen Radiance or anything.
Nobody's built that item in the history of Dota.
He could have 100 games on this hero in the last week. You have no clue. Another aggressive smoke. They want to use this Aegis, and you cannot blame them. If they get a good fight out of this Leshrac Aegis, they are absolutely completely back in this game.
And it's so clear the Liquid are trying to dodge right now. Boxy running into it, blinks away from the Wraith Fire Blast.
Did he not?
He had his Radiance turned off
Yeah, he had it off
during
for the
the
smoke.
smoke, so he didn't get tick damage on Boxy right away.
He's too good for his own good, man.
It really is. BKB on Saberlight as well.
Yeah, he has to go back for BKB now. This game has gotten way too weird. You're lacking too much consistent damage. You have a bunch of chip damage with this Ember Tinker, but it's not doing enough solid DPS right now to bring these big targets down.
You'll get those two items, you'll stop a lot of damage of the Leshrac, and then you get the Shivas next on Bryle, and you shut down a lot of that heal that he's getting.
That's the goal.
And all that, oh, Mickey, get a lot of information, but
Too fast.
ran into Sentry here, dropped in the middle of them. Laurel,
This is
he's going to
Aegis.
stay on to Mickey. Nice use of the toss there to separate the two. He didn't want to be in part of that fight. Well, Bryle, he runs into him on the other side of the river, just trying to slow him down, head for the hills. Boxy probably going to die here as his Blink Dagger still on cooldown. Team Spirit will finally catch something on a core,
It's
but
just, there's just no way you want to commit for a 5-on-5 fight there if you're Liquid into that
Yes,
Aegis.
for sure.
Absolutely no way. Especially when you're close to these next big items, and that Aegis is incredibly impactful in this game. You look for the pick off, you don't get it, BKB, get out of there. Absolutely the right call. They'll continue to split push the lanes.
So the first BKB done, the Shivas is done, the second BKB still a little ways away here.
You still have to worry about the scale here from Liquid. It's no joke. Like, this Tinker can get mags, turn into a fourth core. His
And he is
Embers,
halfway there.
he's going to be a menace later on as well. Right now, they're in a little bit of a damage valley, but you have to make the most of that if you're Spirit to keep recovering this game. Cannot take your foot off the gas here. Your Wraith King is still in recovery mode. And you don't have a BKB Black Hole counter.
Yeah. They also also don't have the best way to deal with the rat that's currently happening. These Eidolons pushing out bottom lane.
Their catch is abysmal.
Yeah. They don't have the catch. They really only have when it comes to wave clear, it's like Radon, him pushing out the lane with skeletons, and then Leshrac showing up.
That is a big question in this game if you're Spirit. How much do we commit to trying to catch heroes on this map versus dealing with the lanes? And I don't think it's an obvious choice because Tinker puts you in these really awkward positions.
Yeah.
Your catch is pretty bad, your lane shove is okay.
And once you start splitting apart to be able to deal with the lanes, Liquid are going to pounce and try and get pick off. Larl is going to get force staffed away. Saberlight, he didn't commit for the black hole. May still have an opportunity to do so with the Warp Flare. Now he's going to be able to commit, and Root would already use the disruption. Got him inside the cart. Collapse, what a save, and now he goes back in for the kill. Snowball picked up onto Mickey. Mickey turns back around, trying to deal with Radon. Not sure who he wants to go for. Larl's in the middle of all of this, though, with the Leshrac. Gets pushed away by the Warp Flare. Good use of that one, while Insania stopped. Will not be able to TP out of this one. Collapse puts him down. Mickey still swinging in the middle of this one. Browsing's a bit of trouble. Nice use of the disruption. Dodging that damage. Collapse got away. Bryle up on the high ground here, stuck up on a cliff. Or does that mean just Radon can't find him anymore? As now he's going to be run down by Liquid off the buyback from Insania. They know they've got the defensive measures. Radon can't push the damage through. He will fall a second time.
A very important buyback from Insania to secure that fight. You're not beating Tinker twice. You just run out of mana on this Lesh. It just sustains through it. It's too much HP.
And they don't have buybacks. Mickey is a carry tiny. These builders going to drop fast. Team Spirit can't do anything to stop it. This is looking like it could be just a full lane. Is Harpoon back in? Miposhka going to be in some trouble with the Shivas running him down. Disruption goes off, sure, but you're probably coming back into a slight or a toss or an avalanche or just a good old-fashioned Warp Flare grab. No, the cart.
What?
The Warp Flare, did it disjoint the cart grab somehow?
He got disjointed on the pickup, or he just misclicked it? It looked like he was in the middle of grabbing him. Unlucky.
Yeah, that seemed pretty unlucky, and there it goes. Full lane. 5 seconds back up, though, for Radon. Team Liquid, are they going to keep the pressure up? Because Reincarnation is still on cooldown for 65 seconds. You could deliver a knockout blow, or you could reset here and play for the next Roche.
Roche can spawn in a minute. That's not a very value push. Even if you get another lane there, it's not worth risking a lost fight.
You almost have the Ags on the Tinker. He becomes a fourth core at that point.
I mean, this laser does a lot of work. The shrink ray health percentage is nasty.
Yeah, I think it was the Warp Flare. He was getting sucked in, and the Warp Flare disjointed him out of the pull into the cart.
I mean, take an astrophysicist to explain that one.
Like, what are you even supposed to do about that?
I'm not smart enough to understand Warp Flare horse cart mechanics. I didn't learn that. I gotta go back to school, man.
Your engineering degree could put that together.
It was not a lecture I went to.
Well, Liquid up to a sizable lead once again, 10K.
Yeah, they stabilized right.
They did.
Stop the bleeding, regrow the lead, take control of this game.
They got back to their item timing, which is the double BKB and the Shivas. Now, what in turn
on the Tinker
is Spirit's next item?
Wait, honestly, he just need more mana on this Lesh in the fight.
Okay.
Like, they can win the fight if Laurel gets drained from a Poshka. I think you're looking at a situation where Liquid's the #1 target they can take out of the fight is the Pugna, because it's not actually the Lesh. It's the Pugna giving the Lesh the mana to win the fight. And then you have Disruption that can save either of those. So you have to think about this chain save kind of situation. You're looking for supports, basically.
Yeah. And that's going to be up to Ryle to hit that back line and reveal those heroes
100%.
with the Shivas.
And Spirit are kind of doing a similar thing. They have to focus the Tinker. It's just what the hero does. You have to take him out first. You cannot play a fight where he gets to go to Fountain, come back, and you're just in a world of pain. I mean, if you can find Tiny alone and somehow chain stun him down, okay, awesome. But it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
The hero's too tanky. Not an easy team fight for Spirit. I don't think any of these have been easy. They've found some crazy openings.
They really have.
They gotta protect the Pugna, though, at all costs. I mean, put the Pugna in the cart if you have to, man. Let him do a suck drive-by, you know, like whatever it takes.
It's a first time in the history of the English language sort of sentence right there.
Look, that is the acceptable terminology. I don't decide this. The people decide it, Austin. I just use what's given in front of me, you know?
Oh, boy. And now a third BKB.
That's a really good one here. Not because the Ember needs to stay alive, but it lets him just find these backline supports and stick on them and be really annoying. Maybe you just solo kill him. Maybe you stop them being able to sit there in the middle of the fight and replenish the Leshrax's mana the whole time. Smoke from Liquid. They're gonna...
Still don't have any nullifiers.
I think they can just push high ground blind. If you send the Tusk in, if you send the Tiny in, hold the Enigma back. Doesn't look too bad going blind here. You can also let bottom lane push in and just threaten mid-racks.
Sure.
Threaten to outmaneuver Spirit around this Roshan. I mean, force them show in the base and just do Roshan quickly.
I feel like you, in this current meta, or at least maybe for the last couple of years, you should never really hit high ground in a 5-on-5, but I feel like Tiny's one of those exceptions where all he has to do is hit it for like 2 or 3 seconds and like serious damage is
especially
done.
if you have 4 staffs.
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting bursted here. You have Tinker behind him as well. Yeah, they're going to let the lanes go in.
Laurel hitting the
going in.
trees, but for a second blinks away before the Avalanche can hit its mark.
All right, so now you force the Rosh. You're going to bring Spirit back out of the base while the base is getting hit by creeps. They're going to have to make a call here. They're going to have to go through your vision to get there, and they're going to have to fight into the BKB black hole to do it into the Tinker marches. Very tough fight to take.
Team Spirit, they put together one hell of a miracle before, but it seems like a second one is an impossibility here. Give up Rue. I mean, they're getting close to the pit. I just can't imagine trying to take this 4 versus 5. So they push in the mid lane.
Correct maneuvering from Liquid here. And they will get the Aegis. They'll get the banner. We'll be happy with that.
Hey, bottled a regen rune, though. That could be big for Laurel in the next team fight.
That is actually really big, yeah. Something to look for. Just think about BKB here. The issue is he's running out of slots in a way. You still want this Ghost Scepter. It's really valuable here. You also want a BKB. It's pretty valuable. You also just want more damage and mana. Super valuable. You can see the Leshrac Ags come out if this game goes long enough.
Yeah.
Another nice power room for Brawl. He's had his pick here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, how do you create more damage threats in this lineup if you're Spirit too? That's another issue. If they could solve it, would make the fights easier. If this Wraith King can build enough DPS that he comes online and can be a threat to the Tinker or something, right? If you get to Nullifier territory, that changes the fight dynamic as well.
Yeah.
He's just so far behind.
They just don't have the heroes for that. Mickey spots collapse. And they'll knock him around here a little bit. Meanwhile, Insania does get gone on by Radon, but he can protect himself pretty easily. He'll go back to deal with Collapse, who no point in using his ultimate. There's just too many stuns. Brawl trying to catch more, but...
Getting shrink rate here. It's a bit demoralizing. You want to be the big man on the court, but get shrunk down to size. Then you're even smaller compared to the Tiny. He will just Goomba stomp you.
Getting smaller and smaller. Just like it seems their chances to win this game as Liquid getting a good hold of the map now. Top lane pretty pushed in, mid and bottom are pushed in, and they will go for the high ground assault with 3 minutes left on the Aegis. Split Earth, pulled it back in, got a quick grab though onto Maposhka. Just who they needed to kill.
That was just too easy. I mean, that is the one guy you got to protect here if you're Spirit. There was no cleanse, no disruption, no 4 staff in time. No stampede because the Centaur's dead.
Nullifier goes out on a Mickey, and he harpoons him and runs away. A buyback from Maposhka on that maneuver.
He cannot die again. Absolutely cannot afford to die again here. You gotta find an angle in this fight. You're waiting for the Centaur.
Dire's middle barracks.
8 more seconds.
Back up. They're just gonna go through top lane maybe.
Well, they're gonna try again. See if they can fish for something off of the ward, but Team Spirit playing pretty careful. Get the D ward without risking any positioning of any heroes.
I think you have to find a smoke angle in this game if you're Spirit. You gotta smoke around the back or side. Maybe on a high ground ward you can place it. They have one here. You just gotta find supports or something.
Go after Mickey.
He's an isolated target.
He is a little bit isolated, and Insania's gonna try and teleport to him, get stomped up immediately, and they will try and run him down with the Stampede. They surely got him. Now
that
he's
is
dead.
massive. No buyback.
Split Earth on 2. Good setup by Laurel. Boxy snowballs up. Buys himself a little bit of time, but he's going straight into the 5-man of Team Spirit. 1 pickoff turns to 2, and that was a dieback earlier from the Tinker. Remember, he bought back long ago, so that is 100 seconds, Team Spirit. They've effectively just killed the Aegis window for Liquid.
he just did not get the blink off after the TPN. It was a very fast hoof stomp, but he had the second to do it. It was not an instant frame, so little misplay there.
Did he not have a barrier on him TPing in? Did he get tagged by some damage without the barrier?
I think he just didn't get the blink, honestly. Maybe ask him in an interview or something, but he had basically a half second there to do it. Still a very clutch hoof stomp from Collapse. I mean,
that was great.
Take the openings you get, right? Spirit will take that all the way to the bank. 100 seconds, no tinker. That's a lot of time to push these lanes out, restabilize this game, get some more farm. They do have the Nullifier and Demonic Purge. These are really influential items in this game. Does allow you to just go on target, stick on them, try and commit for the play. And is the Divine
Rapier with the Nullifier?
Okay, there's some damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly like it. You just need as much damage as you can get here.
Because nobody else can cover that damage, right? Like, it's just like the Centaur is just not going to be a bigger threat than the stomp that he provides. And the two supports are backline save supports. They're probably not going to be able to add that much damage either. So it's got to be Laurel. It's got to be Radon.
I think you want the Slush 25 as well, just for the extra edicts, just so you have more damage to pump in. Took Ceremonial Robe, more DPS added by that as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the level 20 talent.
Also, the status resistance reduction is also pretty pivotal in this game. You need as much stun time as you can get if you're Spirit.
Mickey with his classic level 25, he doesn't take the toss charges. He takes the avalanche cooldown.
Yeah, he really believes in this talent. I always believe in the other one more just because the fact that tosses ignore statuses, but
I like it because
I think the long fight capability.
I think avalanche always forces out DKB. You know?
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad talent. We're talking about Tiny here. You know?
Yeah. We're talking about
Tiny doesn't have bad choices.
We're talking about is it an S tier or S plus tier?
Exactly.
Talent.
You know, Tiny, he gets invited to Gabe's Christmas party every year. Sand King, he's looking through the window out back, fishing hamburgers out of the trash can, wondering why nobody loves him. Tiny, he's right in there by the presents.
Gabe, remember
sitting on Gabe's lap, you know. What am I going to get this year?
Gabe,
you'll get many buffs, don't worry, John.
We had in those bot matches. I used to be your favorite hero, Gabe.
You get coal, Sand King. See you again in 5 years.
Oh, there's an idea.
They did
give sandstorm, it's a coal storm.
Yeah, Frostivus this year is you just get Sand King cosmetics. Never use those. He's closing in on this Divine. This hero fars fast, man. I mean, he's recovered, you know. Missed all his timings, but he will have recovered in this game. See how good the Ultra late game is.
I mean, he hit his Divine Rapier timing. This is a fast Divine Rapier. They're smoking up now. He's going to run into this smoke, and a slight just kills the whole thing.
What you would do to have a Hex there.
Effect, by the way.
Okay, well, you're just grumpy. We'll use that one too.
The fact that he can just project himself with Slight and break smokes 1,000 units in front of him.
Yes, because he's a Spirit. It's lore accurate, so we accept it.
Mickey is underneath a Ward Sentry.
The one good ward Spirit have on the map.
Yes, then that is why they moved to this side of the map to play around it.
They're still looking for this Divine, though. They're around 1,200 off. I mean, you got to finish it up here, right?
Yeah, I was surprised they went for the smoke before they had the Divine.
A little interesting. They did have the BKB on the ledge. Maybe that's enough for you to say we can take that aggressive fight. Well, Scotty for the Ember, though. That is some more healing reduction. I don't know if this Lesh is going to be able to frontline like he did.
Well, he did get to his level 25, though. I mean, you can have all that healing reduction, but he is outputting
it's a lot of DPS.
A lot of damage. He doubled up his damage on that Diabolic Edict, basically. So
there's a chance here for Spirit. No question about it. They need the fight to go their way. And Mickey is big and bad, man. Swift Blink done. He is swinging like a truck.
Boxy, tons of utility, no Aghanim Scepter, spots Maposhka. Ooh, that's a dream kill. Brew is also acceptable. The dieback on Maposhka would have been great. They got Maposhka anyway. He tries to save Brew, and he gets tossed in, sandwiched upon Mickey.
No buy.
Finds the second opener, and now Team Spirit, despite the Divine Rapier coming in, it feels like this is going to remain an impossibility even if he can get that item.
He might get caught here too.
Yeah, he has to kind of desperately try and push out, has to BKB immediately. TP? I mean, Boxy's around, so he can't TP away. Laurel's going to have to fight for this. He gets in there. Split Earth hits Mickey. Got it down to about half HP. Demonic Purge also going out. Warp Flare trying to create some distance while he snowballs Mickey away. Allows him to blink out. Very nicely played. Bryle constantly in their face, interrupting them. Collapse is going to pick up Laurel and carry him away. This is going to be another dieback as Rue disrupts himself, but stuck in Black Hole.
Why not?
Know that the death of the supports leaves a huge opening for
Divine
Team Spirit or Team Liquid.
Divine Rapier flying in right now to Yatoro. He will just complete it. This has got to make something magical happen here. You're missing both supports. No buybacks available. Radon, what can you do? Who can you kill?
Where's the opening? Who's he going to jump on first? Laurel trying to force a reaction. Saberlight immediately uses the black hole to him. They got him inside the Stampede. Pick up card. Collapse trying to drive him away. Laurel gets off his BKB and he's going to fight it out with Radon. Radon dead on the first life. Coming back soon though with his Divine Rapier. Can he push through? Collapse with a buyback trying to get on top of them here, but his stomp is on cooldown. He backs away. Radon backs away. They are running out of lives on Spirit.
Running out of lives, running out of time, running out of options. This Divine is only worth as much as the Wraith King can hit people. He just doesn't have BKB for these fights. Still waiting for the cooldown, 5 seconds. For this Wraith King BKB, make your last stand.
Mickey, Warp Flare, Centaur at half HP. Radon goes for him though. Harpoon tries to put the damage. The screws onto Mickey. It really doesn't work. A 4-staff gets him away, and Radon is used to BKB for pretty much nothing. One swipe on a Bryle shows that even Bryle is tanky enough to stand up against that Divine Rapier. Knockout punch from Boaxi with the snowball. Not quite enough. Mapocha managed to keep him alive, but inside the pit, Laurel's already dead, and there's no buyback for him. Radon will get back to the fountain. Divine Rapier still in hand, but will he end the game with a loss on a Divine Rapier still in his inventory?
Not doing you any good on the final score screen.
He picks up a Blink Dagger, but immediately canceled by the laser. He gets tapped by that one. The throne is going to die, and sure enough, Radon, he will take the loss. Still holding on, still clutching to that Divine Rapier.
I mean, the King will